Welcome back to some more Rocket League. Luckily, we are not done with Rocket League. We have the Rising team. So, if you guys don't know, for you at home, our kind of rankings, I guess, on how our teams are, it's the main roster. Then we have ACAD, and then we have our Rising. And then so, people can work their way up through Rising, go to ACAD, go up there. So, I believe we have Jane playing on like the ACAD, and he used to be on the main, and then so some people are on Rising, and then they go to ACAD. So it's just we have a large pool. A lot of people love playing Rocket League. We love watching it. So we are seeing our Rising, and we are already starting the game here.
We're in ECAC. This is it's a best of 7. This Fuel Rising team is undefeated in this league right now. So they are in a very, very strong point. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I heard their plus minus of like goals versus goals against is like 7-2 average,
which is like
7 goals and 2 goals against average per game.
Yeah,
like they are a very, very dominant team. We'll see though how Spalding ends up doing against them. A nice bump from Kron is going to open up the door for Spalding to get that first goal.
A beautiful, air dribble bump. I mean, very common you see in 1s and a bit in 2s. 3s, it's uncommon because you don't really get these one-on-one interactions. But getting it done there, and Spalding now taking a 1-goal lead. But like we talked about, this first 30 seconds, 45, even minute goals don't mean a whole lot, especially in, no, this isn't a diss at all. If I mention a lower, league or rank, it's just because I just want to, talk about it might not happen as much in main, but that's why we'll see it here. In the lower-ish lobbies, you'll see a lot more higher scoring games. Because you see them focus on mechanics that, favor offense, as well as if you're going to mess up, it usually ends in a goal, right? You don't mess up and happen to, you mess up and save something. Usually you mess up and then the other team capitalizes on a goal, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot more higher scoring goals. So honestly, a 1-goal, even 2-goal lead, in my opinion, is completely different in this level of play, whereas the main team, right?
For sure. I definitely agree. I mean, the amount of goals you see happen, right? You say, the mistakes come out. At the same time, defense just isn't going to be as strong, right?
Yeah.
Really, it's going to be a lot of, the individual mechanics are, that the shots are going to be better placed the higher you go. But also, the defense is going to be, it really does, it's completely different levels, right? Shots, the mechanics, there's different levels, and it is clear, but a lot of the time when you're in, this rank, which I believe is Diamond Champ-ish average, if I'm not mistaken, for a Rising team, you're going to see a lot of, mechanics towards offense, but you just don't have that defensive read. You don't have the amount of hours played as some of these higher ranked players, right? Because a lot of the time it is just hours played. This game is probably the hardest barrier to entry, really, of any major esport, I'd say. As Scanpla, that's a fun name.
Pretty cool.
Scanpla is going to finish that one off. We also got Mateo Mayo. Sorry, I read the names, and I'm kind of a fan of Mateo Mayo all of a sudden.
That is
kind of reminded me of, what was it, Poppy Peanut?
Yeah.
It was a fun one.
Yeah, it's dope.
But we got Sniper McGee 5.
Yeah,
so
obviously.
That's just the greatest name of all time if you really think about it.
For sure.
We're the number one Sniper McGee fans out here, really, to be honest. Every time we cast him, absolutely love seeing them. But Prophet and Spazzy doing well as well. As Prophet try to get this past a couple players. He does. As he now, it's just a one-on-one, but Mateo be there to stop it. Spazzy looks for something. Yeah, the goals are going to come out a little bit more, and it just really is, the difference between a player of this and a player who is, higher rank is going to be, honestly, 500 hours minimum.
Yeah.
Really, right? It's just the amount of time.
Yeah, and it's also just those small little mechanical shots. Sniper McGee, though, a great job there because, honestly, if you aim any lower, really, that might have been saved. But getting it nice and high in the top left where the opponent isn't is a fantastic job. And honestly, both teams are really impressing me right now. I also love seeing a nice Dominus come out super flat. It makes it a lot easier to do some more flip resets, as well as you win 50s a lot easier with a Dominus. So it's just it can be a nice little boost there. It doesn't help as much when you get to mechanical terms, but you don't need that necessarily in every single matchup. So I love seeing a nice Dominus come out. It's really cool.
Kind of helps, when you don't have that placement of your shots down fully, right? The Dominus can kind of help, because you have a smaller hitbox. So if you place it a specific spot, it's going to go the way. It almost always goes the same way. But with this Fennec and this Octane, it's a lot harder to you know, there's a lot more nuance and a lot more tiny little switches that can happen, as that's just going to be
an unfortunate own
a
goal.
slow trickle there, as that's going to be an own goal in for the side of Spalding. As
I mean,
go up
this is very common. You see this all the time. Just a whiff. His you know, Korn thought that his teammate was going to get it, and he was just kind of driving behind him just to rotate through. Unfortunately, didn't get the touch they were looking for, and now Fuel takes a goal lead. And, you know, but again, so much time is left. We've already seen 5 goals, which is basically the amount we'll see in like 2 or 3 main games.
Yeah, right.
But coming out here, just doing a great job of just a real back and forth, being able to get through this adversity. I really commend these players from, you have a ton of ups and downs when playing in long games like this.
Fraud unable to finish that one, unfortunately. That's, you know, that's kind of a tell of what type of game we're in, right? If you see an open backboard like that and get a double touch, it's very rare that that one would be whiffed, right? Or missed even. But here, you know, that's kind of these opportunities. You're going to need more than just, you know, that one free backboard, that free, you know, rebound in order to find the success, because the fact that, you know, the placement's just not going to be fully there, right? There's just not, you're not fully drilled on how to place the ball perfectly, right?
Nice
we'll
flip.
see Braun, a nice flick to get that one over, but all 3 members of Fuel just kind of collide at the exact same spot, which could have been dangerous, right? If they all miss the ball,
right?
That's a goal.
Or if, you know, you got them some rotates on Spalding, if they were able to capitalize on it. But you kind of saw that a lot of the team, you'll see they either have full boost or no boost. There's really no in between. That boost management sometimes fluctuates, so it's hard to get these good attacks going or good defenses going. But right now, Fuel's just trying to keep this lead going and maybe even extend it a little bit here. But a nice play out. I feel like Horn is just always there, and always, he's kind of like this glue guy for Spalding. He's in the right spots at the right time, whether it's offensively or defensively. And a nice shot by Sniper McGee sets it up perfectly for his teammate, and they take a 2-goal lead with 11 seconds left, and it's looking like Fuel is at the winning Game 1 door, and they are knocking right now and trying to come in.
I mean, this first game where you're trying to, you know, identify how your team likes to play, Fuel still coming out quite strong and showing why they've been in such a, you know, such a tear so far in this season of this division, right? Why they are undefeated currently, because they are coming out swinging. The individual players are there. You see, you know, Profit going some pretty fast, you know, flips off of the wall, as well as some nice shots. A nice place there by Sniper McGee. But something you see, right, when a team is, you know, like on paper, right, going to be a little bit worse at those individual plays, a lot of the time, it's something you see in every single game, right? The lower, like your ACAD teams, almost always are willing to scrim more. They practice so much because they want that chance, right? They want to be as best as they possibly can. Once you're on that main team, it kind of feels like you've done it, right? You can still practice to be able to punch up, but you don't have to scrim as much. You don't have to prove your place as much, right? You're already there. But for these, you know, for these rising teams, scrimming is something that really sets these teams apart, right? The practice, the team plays that they're able to do. We saw some nice passing plays from the side of Fuel. We'll see if they can continue this one going into the next game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think Fuel did a very good job there. You can see their team chemistry is phenomenal. You know, you're going to see a few double, triple commits sometimes. But overall, just the placement that they have for each other and leaving boost even, or leaving the ball sometimes and communicating with one another is very good. And I love seeing that, especially after last semester watching some Rising games and commentating a few Rising games. They are tremendously better from what I remember, just overall as a team, and even just like mechanically some of the plays they're doing. So you can see they're scrimming, they're practicing. You know, you can see that this record isn't just a hoax, right? They're 6-0 in this league, and it's for a reason. They're a very good team, but honestly, Spalding seems very good. But Sniper McGee just seems a bit better. Sorry, Sniper McGee 5.
Yeah.
Seems a little bit better there with a nice shot.
Maybe it's Sniper McGee's. Maybe he's plural.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe we'll have to. Well, you know, maybe next time we see him, we'll have to do a little bit of investigative research there, as you will strike first yet again. But yeah, I do want to highlight. I mean, Spalding's playing very very well, right? Their defense has been there. They found some nice attacks. Sniper McGee almost finds out, but Scanpla is going to be able to stop that as Profit sets that up, and that's going to be an easy finish for Sniper McGee as he flies on in like a spaceship.
Yeah, doing a great job. Sniper McGee seems to be their kind of last resort weapon on offense. He's just that middle guy. He sticks around. He likes to do some great rotations. He likes to get in and get out, get in and get out. When he runs out of boost, he goes back to that midfield, playing a very traditional gameplay, and you see these opportunities come to him. It's not forced at all. All of these goals have been off of him being in the right spot at the right time, and you might be asking yourself, like, how is he always the one scoring? It's because he's doing the little things off camera, away from the ball, that you don't see. You see him rotating correctly. You see him, you probably hear him communicating to his team about certain things. He's just doing a great job at being a fantastic team player, and then it shows up on the stat sheet. Like right there, he's not going to overcommit. Perfect turnaround, let Profit come in, do his thing, and even leaves the boost for him. And now he's just going to cover his teammate. Like a great job. You're probably going to see him go up for that exactly as I said. He waits for his time to strike, and he does it perfectly. A great job. And Fuel just as a whole, just, being super dominant. 2-0 might not seem like a lot most of the time, but honestly, this game, 2-0 seems huge right now with the way Fuel's playing.
It does almost feel like they're playing a different game than last one, right? Last one, it felt like you could definitely see the reading into their opponent, right? They were kind of, playing it a little bit safer. That's just going to be an open net for Sniper McGee, as he is going to drive that one home and pick himself up a little bit of a hat trick as they get thrown on to. They should have a hat. They should throw some hats on the field.
Yeah, that'd be
Come on,
cool.
Rocket League. As Sniper McGee, he flies on in again. He gets that nice goal. I mean, that's just an easy one, right? He gets it past everyone, and he's just on a breakaway. You're not going to whiff that one. No need to play any fancy things. No flicks, no shots. Just dribble that one into the net.
Wow.
As he off the kickoff, a nice shot. As yeah, it feels like game one they were understanding their opponent. They were feeling things out. Now it feels like it is balls to the wall, and they are just unstoppable so far. As here, we'll see another kickoff coming out. 2 minutes and 53 seconds remain on the clock for the side of Spalding, for both teams. But, I mean, Spalding, they're down 4. It's a hard one to swallow. It's a tough pill to swallow for sure. And this is why we see, I mentioned Fuel's plus negative, right? Their goals for goals against. And this is kind of a game where we're seeing how that is coming to be, right? They find these goals. I believe last time I watched Rising play, I think I saw an 8-1 and an 8-0 game.
Yeah, pretty insane scoreboards there, and we're already kind of starting to see a pretty nuts scoreboard here. It's already 4-0, and like you mentioned, there's still a ton of gameplay left. You gotta trust your teammate there.
Yeah, they both wanted that one,
right?
To be honest.
Which is fair. You're also up.
You're
right?
up 4-0. I feel like that's fine.
Super confident, right? You're gonna go for it, and honestly, they're just having some fun with it. I love seeing that, right? You are up 4 goals, but you can't, get too complacent. Get what's in, like, the end goal is to win as quickly as you can, win as efficiently and as dominant as you can, because not only is this a game against, just a team in your league, but if you go into playoffs and let's say you beat them, like you mentioned, 8-1, 8-0, that just sticks in their brain. They're like, guys, we're playing this team. Oh, it's a write-off. Fuel's so good. We got dominated. Oh, my God, look, they're up 4-0 already. Right, you want to set that domination. You got to be that it's more than just winning. It's setting a tone and setting a statement.
It's something you notice, especially right when the playoffs, right, for every single game. As soon as you fall to a team, especially if it's a dominant loss, that if you fight them in playoffs, you just automatically believe you're the